Hey there, this is Marissa with Marissa Moments. So, you're watching this video because you responded to my video on TikTok or maybe even Facebook chat about receiving a free single card reading. Now, I had no clue how I was going to do this. Spirit just gave me the notion, so I said it in the video without any preparation, right? But that's how the divine works. We follow the breadcrumbs with having the faith and knowledge and knowing that the next step is going to be revealed in due time. So this is what Spirit told me to do. I'm going to be revealing your card reading on this video. I'll try to break it up so that way you can look for your own name, and I'll put it in the comments and things like that, so you can just kind of bypass everyone else's reading and get directly to yourself, because I know how it is. Nobody really has time for all that, right? But we're also in my, what I like to refer to it as my Zen room. And I have tons of oracle decks, tarot card decks, all of those different things. And they've been kind of sitting in chill mode for over a year now. So thanks for having me get back into it, I guess. So you'll go along with me. We'll check out the decks and then we'll get into the readings. So here we go. Okay, so I never do this, but this is where I keep my cards, right? Now, look, this is very nice. We have the animal, different meanings, and how to kind of read the tarot card decks and things like that, right? Now, so these are my decks. And yes, I do have another book that I actually wrote. It's right here. This isn't a part of the reading, obviously, but ta-da! This is if you want to kind of go into the archives of Marissa Moments and check out that book. I'm not even going to tell you what it's about, because if you want to read it, then you can read it. So these are the decks that we're going to be working from. I'm going pretty fast, but whatevs. And I'm just going to allow Spirit to kind of guide me. And there's a deck in here. We have a cute little mini deck right here too. So like I said, guys, I just haven't done this in a while, but thanks for getting me back into it. Oh, and there's also a deck in here. So we got decks on decks on decks, decks on deck, right? Anyway, so let's just get into the readings. I'll choose the deck for you intuitively and go from there. Alrighty? Okay, so I transferred the decks onto my desk. Oh, ignore that notebook. And we're just going to get straight into it. And if you want to know information about any of these decks, then just like comment or something. Yeah. What message do you need to receive? And we got one that's sticking right up. Oh, hello, Kimberly. Let's see what we got here. So you, my friend, received the Fool card. Now let's get into it. Okay, so the Fool has climbed a mountain and just stepped from a jagged cliff's edge, walking through an open door. This is a kind of door that opens only to those who dare to travel far and climb the toughest mountains. It took discipline for the Fool to follow his heart and forget what others said was right for him. He shunned what was considered to be the best advice from others. His clothes appeared tattered. His skin is rough and scarred, showing an experienced life. The feathers in his hair signify a symbol of flight. One of the feathers has fallen to his feet. The Fool carelessly exclaims, "So what? I can achieve my flight on one less feather." Maybe it's an arrow pointing to past lessons, reminding him not to forget what he learned to get through the door. A blue-black raven pierces the Fool's leg, assuring him he is not in a dream, but that he has actually made it through the door, and encourages him to fly on as birds as free do. So the divinatory meaning is new adventure. Opportunity beckons. Following your heart, your inner voice, you are being nagged by the spirits. They are tugging at your soul, wanting you to reach the highest levels of your mind. Climb higher, climb harder. So that is your card, that is your message. But what I receive even further than that is essentially, it's just a reminder of your strength. Of course, you have been through a lot of things. You have overcome and surpassed a lot of the mountains that have been put in front of you as like an obstacle, right? But there you are climbing, and not only climbing, what I receive is planting a flag once you get to the top, because you have established and you have conquered that obstacle, right? So what I received though is that you need to keep going. And not only that, is remain humble and use those lessons as springboards into your next reality. Because what I receive is that you're trying to create a new version of yourself and you're trying to create a new reality, but it's almost like you're split between who you were, who you will become, and the fact of almost like feeling boastful about it. Yeah, I did it. I did it. Yep, you see me, right? One of those types of spirits or mentality, whether you convey that externally or not, it is there somewhere. But what I receive is that just stay humble. You don't even have to defend yourself in terms of everything that you have overcome and conquered, because the proof is in the pudding, right? You have that special recipe. You have the capacity because you've already done those things. You've already overcome so much. So anything and everything that has the potential to come your way is child's play. Just keep going, because guess what? No surprise here, but you've got this. To be using the Gilded Tarot. It's kind of hard to see, but that is the deck. I have no clue who it's by. Yeah, no clue. Okay, so let's see what your message is. Now, I didn't record myself taking them out of the box because I figure you have better things to look at, even the shuffling, right? What I will say is that there were a couple of cards that wanted to stick in the box. And usually what that means when I'm doing a reading is that somebody is holding something back. The Fool. Now, you want to know why I say is because this is the second time that I received this card for someone's reading as it relates to this TikTok collective, right? So let's get a little bit more in depth with it. Okay, so the Fool, right? The Fool is something of a conundrum, for all is not as it may first appear in this card. The image of the Fool that Ciro Marchetti presents to us appears to portray a court jester. In colorful clothes, he entertains, dancing and juggling with seemingly careless abandon. Yet on closer examination, we find an apparent contradiction. For his hands, he masterfully suspends all the signs of the zodiac in the air. None carelessly slip to the floor. At this moment in time, every conceivable potentiality exists. The wisdom of the heavens captured. For some reason, I can't speak. Have something going on with your throat chakra? Anyway, the wisdom of the heavens captured and contained within each sign and planet represented. At the time, he spins a hoop and baton around his ankle, playful perhaps, but foolish it would not seem. There is a sense of innocent wisdom to this card. The card number of 0 represents the very moment before creation, unexplored potential. It's the only unnumbered card in the deck, yet 0 is also the endless circle and cycle of life without beginning or end, alpha and omega. The interpretation of this card is when the Fool appears in a reading, it suggests that unexpected opportunities will suddenly appear that can bring welcome changes. You need to remain open, as it will involve the need to make a major choice, seemingly out of the blue. There are moments in life when we need to take a leap of faith and travel along paths that are unknown to us, but we grow as a result of our experiences. The Fool is like the child within us that sees with innocence, imagination, and wonder. This side of ourselves invariably becomes lost due to social conditioning as we mature. However, the Fool is a reminder to listen to the voice of our inner child that recalls the excitement of new adventures and stepping out into unknown territory. The Fool is usually a welcome and exciting card in a reading. We have frequently found that most people it appears for feel ready for the changes that it can bring. The only real negative aspect of this card is that people are usually afraid of making choices, mainly because they fear that they may make the, air quotes, wrong one. You need to appreciate the potential that exists with this card. Unless badly aspected, the Fool is usually a positive omen and not one to miss. So, what have we learned? We've learned that you need to take advantage of the moment. You're going to receive different opportunities. They're going to come up, they're going to present themselves, and it's up to you to make the decision. Don't worry about making the wrong decision, because as we know at this point on our journeys that there is no right or wrong decision. There's only opportunities and opportunities for learning and growth. So that sounds like a win-win situation. Stop overthinking it. You've got this. You've already experienced so much, and now you're going to take and apply that wisdom to the new experiences and new opportunities as they present themselves. So don't overthink it. You've got this. To be using the Star Seed Oracle deck. Hopefully you can see that. All right, gonna set down my teeny microphone. He's fun. And let's see what your message is. All right, Spirit. Poetic paints 0. Are you poetic and do you paint? I'm sure you get that all the time. Oh, okay. Hang on. Shuffle just wants to take his time. Okay, here we go. So, you received the Golden Children, Inner Child, Tenderness, Innocence, Rare Gifts card. That is such a pretty card. Okay, hopefully you can see it. Trying to get rid of that glare there. Now let's see what it's talking about, shall we? Okay, so this card, what it says is golden children, or children of the sun, are highly advanced, extremely intelligent souls who are incarnating increasingly on planet Earth. They have little or no personal karma and possess incredible gifts and intuitive abilities. Golden children are born with a very clear mission. Many remember it from a young age and begin answering and sharing it in early in life. Due to their unique intelligence, they may find themselves easily bored at school. Most have never incarnated on Earth before, and so, if they're not supported in the right ways, they struggle with physical life here. They're often referred to as the new humans. If you pull this card, it may be a sign that you are being called to mother, father, or nurture a child. You may be called to tend to your own inner child, a creative idea or project, or new beginning. To treat yourself or the new beginning with sweet, tender love. To nourish and nurture it, to give it every chance to grow and reach adulthood, to encourage it, to water it, to see the world through the innocence of a child, to see yourself and all others as innocent children, to remember that deep down everyone is trying their best, and if they're treated with a tender heart, they'll not harden as they journey through this great adventure called life. So, the question that you have to ask yourself is, how can you treat yourself or others more tenderly? So this is kind of like an assignment from Spirit. This deck operates a little bit differently in terms of the intuitive messages and approach and things like that. But what I receive for you is just kind of based off your name, I don't know, the name that you go by, your handle, right? Is that you're up for the task. You're able to see things in a different way and perspective. And that's why you have this golden children, this golden child type mentality and card. And that's why I was even called to pull something that has a little bit more of a creative layout and design, and just the fact that you're moving through different dimensions and preparing and ready to enter a new gateway that's been prepared specifically for you. What I receive is that you need to use these gifts to create a new type of world and atmosphere. You have it within yourself. Stop comparing yourself to others. Stop being so hard on yourself is what I receive. What I see is somebody who constantly starts over and never releases things because they never feel like it's quite there yet, right? But you have it in you. You were literally born for this. And the people that you're surrounded by, maybe give them a little bit more grace. They don't see things the way that you do, and that's okay. Now, if it's a toxic situation, then you know what to do with that as well. You set the boundaries, you make the decisions, you claim your power and dominion over those situations and circumstances. But when it comes down to it, the message that you're receiving is clear. Dive into your work, dive into those opportunities, and reconnect with your inner child. Using the Oracles of Shadow and Light Oracle card deck. It's a pretty cool deck. So let me set down my mini mic and get to shuffling. So, Spirit, what message do we have for Lycus Wolf? Oh, hello. These cards want to go all wonky all of a sudden. Do you often find yourself where you feel like you're on the roll with something and then something just kind of goes all discombobulated and astray? That's kind of what this shuffle is making me feel. So you received the card, Mend a Broken Heart Fairy, Healing from Heartache. They're so pretty. Okay, so let's see what she wants to tell you. Okay, so before I tell you what the card actually means, so it has the number 36 on it, and when I looked it up, it was supposed to be on page 136, but it was actually on 132. So maybe you do have a tendency to get things a little mixed up. And like I said, you feel like things are going in a flow, and then all of a sudden it's like, wait, what? With that aside, let's talk about your actual card reading. So about the Mend a Broken Heart Fairy. Here she comes to gather up your heart's sore pieces and place a sweet bandage on the place that is most wounded. And this one tender gesture does more to heal you than could 1,000 years of therapy. It's time for small kindnesses to be received, for you to know that the little gifts of friendship and sweetness are the ones that will assist you most at the time. Hold, please. Just kidding. I had to make it bigger because I can't see. Allow yourself to be treated gently, to be attended to with kindness, and to be hugged. Allow yourself to accept that this is a time when you need to take good care of yourself. You are healing and on the mend, but do not undo your medicine by forcing yourself to hurry up and get over it. The Mend a Broken Heart Fairy speaks. She says, "You have been hurt, and this heart feels bruised to me. I may have been it may have been what is called a lover's quarrel or an unrequited love. It may have been a breakup, and it may be that an adventure in love has turned harsh, but I am here to help you mend, and I will not let your broken heart bleed. I will wash clear, heal, which is balance, and place the bandage over your wound, which is to protect, and send you the healing that means deep, restful sleep and peace return to you. I want you to take it easy on the path of love for now. Soon you will feel your vitality return, but for now, it's a time of rest." The divination message is, when you have heartache, it is important to treat yourself well. Take time away from the flurry of shoulds you're often confronted with. Why not take some time to snuggle on the couch with a favorite old movie and have a sniffle? Okay, what are we talking about? What's a sniffle? Maybe you know. I don't. Anywho, have a long, comforting bath, and be sure to make a promise to yourself to let close people be who are worthy of your love. So let's break this down because it doesn't make any sense to me, honestly. So that sentence right there, what I actually receive is that allow people who are actually worthy of your love to be in your realm of existence right now. When you're going through a type of heartbreak, or it doesn't even necessarily have to relate to love, But when you're going through something, or you feel some sort of disappointment, or you feel like there was some sort of miscommunication where things might have fallen apart, like I said, that's kind of been the trend of this message, even from the shuffle, from choosing the deck to finding the actual meaning of the card. Maybe things have been shifted out of place and in a way, shape, and form that you just did not see coming. Don't let that paint your entire realm of existence in darkness, and don't allow one temporary disappointment to then blanket your entire world, right? Don't say, okay, this didn't work out for me, so now nothing's going to work out for me. Allow people to help you, allow people to comfort you. But at the same time, you need to make sure that the people that you're allowing to comfort you, the people that you're allowing to kind of comfort you are actually worthy of you, that they're being clear with their intentions, that they're being clear with their communications, because you deserve way more than what you give yourself credit for. So that's about it. I'm not even going to read the rest of this because honestly, some of it just does not make that much sense to me. But the bottom line to this bottom line is you're going to heal, you're going to get past it, and you're going to be so much better off for it.